Hello, hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to be running over the most basic Sprite combo because I've seen a couple of comments asking about the Sprite combo itself as well as the Melfy cards and how they play into the deck. So we're going to start off with your standard line where you normal summon Nimble Beaver, declaring its effect to special summon from the deck or graveyard. Summon Angler, we'll overlay those two, and we'll summon Gigantic Sprite. Gigantic Sprite will declare its effect, detaching Angler. Special summon the Sprite Blue. Blue's effect will activate on summon, which will search you the Sprite Jet. We'll then special summon the Sprite Jet, declaring its effect to search for a spell or trap, usually the Smashes or Starter. From here we'll link to into Sprite Sprint. I'll then declare Sprint's effect to dump from deck to graveyard at level 2, dumping Angler, declaring Angler's effect to special summon 2 Nimbles from your deck, 2 Beavers. From here we'll overlay the 2 Beavers into a copy of Melfy of the Forest. Melfy of the Forest effect will activate here. On ignition, detaching for cost to search a Melfy monster from your deck to your hand, adding Melfy Caddy. So from here, from the one card that we had, the Nimble Beaver, we were able to make this board here, where we have a Caddy in hand that will special summon itself during the end phase. Actually, let me go ahead and do that now. I'll set the Smashes, move to the end phase, declare Caddy's effect to summon, and that is the entire end board. So from here, from this one Nimble Beaver, we were able to make a Sprint bounce on special summon. We were able to have the Caddy, which will bounce back to hand and search for a beast. Worthwhile mentioning as well, if you already have the penny in hand, you are able to search a Nimble Beaver if you haven't already gone through all 3 because it specifies a beast. So you have the Caddy bounce, which will make you the Herald of the Arclight after searching for Melfy Penny. And you also have the Smashes. After Caddy bounces back to hand, you also have the Melfy of the Forest Phoenix Chain effect, which stops a monster from attacking or from activating its effects. So during the opponent's turn, let's say they summon Kashtira Fenrir. On summon, you can then trigger Caddy's effect to bounce to hand and to search for a beast, adding the penny. And from here, most players will activate Fenrir's effect to attempt to banish either the Sprint or maybe one of your Xyz monsters. You can then chainlink to activate Melfy of the Forest, which is a trigger effect. Because you bounced back Caddy to your hand, you can then target one of their monsters to negate. And this was why during the Kashtira format, this card was so amazing, these 2 cards, or 3 cards alone. Because it stops them from attacking, and they're not able to summon more bodies onto the field unless they had Birth. So from here, we'll target the Fenrir to negate and stop it from attacking. And then during the next chain, we can then activate Penny's effect. Penny's effect, quick effect, is to special summon itself whenever, and to synchro summon using this card on the field and 1 card in your hand, the Caddy. And this is triggered off having a Melfy bounce back to hand. So after that, that's the condition, sorry, not the trigger, the condition. So after that condition is fulfilled, it is now a quick effect that you can activate whenever you want. So you can use this now, immediately after, if you feel like they have like a Raigeki or a Dark Hole and you don't feel safe. Or you can activate it when they summon a monster that you want to bounce because you can trigger it off Sprint. Speaking of Droll, it is worthwhile mentioning that you want to be very careful with Droll and the Melfy cards as well as Herald of the Arclight, because Caddy does need to search the penny unless you already have it in hand, which means that if they choose to search first, let's say they activate Bonfire to search the Populace, if you draw them after that, you cannot declare Caddy's effect to bounce to hand and to search. You can bounce it, I believe, but you can't search the penny, which means that you can't make your Herald and you probably don't have your bounce on your own. Doesn't mean you can't use the bounce on their monsters when they summon a monster, when they special summon, but it just means that you probably can't choose when to bounce unless you have a starter set. On top of that, if you have Herald of the Arclight and you make it first and you have Draw in your hand, you're unable to discard Draw because it stops this from hitting the graveyard, and that is the cost. Alright, that's all for the Melfy combo. Now I wanted to showcase 2 more combos, one being how we can use the fun card here, Iblee. So Iblee, normally if I'm playing Iblee, it means I'm going first. So I'm bringing it from my side into my main deck, and I'll probably swap it out for Hyperion. The reason because this is my summon of Gigantic if I already have the rest of the Sprite engine online. But if I want to Iblee them, I'll just summon Iblee every single time of the Gigantic unless I have no good board to make with it at the end. So the combo is very much the same, where you start off with the Beaver, to special the Angler. And from here, let's say you have a blue as well, or a Jet, either one. But the idea is you want to get to smashes. So, you can overlay first. Here you risk getting Ogred, and so you'd rather summon the blue first. We'll go blue effect to search Jet. And from here, we'll activate the effect of Gigantic. Gigantic attach to special summon our Iblee, and now we're protected from Nib. From here, the next move we have to make is to link off. So we'll go link 2, using either these two or these two. The only time I'll use the Gigantic to link off as well is if I draw into another Nimble Beaver. So I have 2 Beavers in hand, because that means I can only summon 1 of the Sprint, which means I need another level 2 on field. So if that's not the case, I'll link these 2 off. Summon Sprint, declare Sprint's effect to dump the Angler, special summon the 2 Beavers, and of course chain link 2 will be the Iblee to special summon on itself onto the field. Don't forget to declare it, so we'll go chain link 1, Sprint, chain link 2, Iblee. I did forget to declare it just then, but normally I would. So special onto their field and defense, and then we'll special summon the Sprite Jet, declare Jet's effect, search smashes, overlay, for Melfy of the Forest. Then we will detach Forest's effect. That's really poorly worded. Detach Forest for effect to search for Melfy, search Caddy, and then during the end phase we can summon Caddy. Because we have leftover bodies right now, I can also choose to make these 2 go into an SP. Because I already have an Xyz on field that I can interact with. But for the sake of this video, we're going to keep them on the field. So we're going to set these smashes, end phase, declare the Caddy to special summon itself, pass turn. So let's say it's their turn and they choose to normal summon a monster, because a lot of people are saying don't run Iblee because they can just link off into SP and everyone plays SP. Well, the issue is if they normal summon a monster, any monster to link off, because they can't special summon, you can declare the Caddy's effect to bounce. Then we can search the Penny, and like I mentioned earlier, if you don't have the 3rd Beaver in rotation already, you can search the Beaver instead if you happen to draw the Penny first. Then from here, you can finish chain something. If you want to, you might as well use the finish chain effect on the other monster. You're already playing into Tactics, Thrust, and Talent because you already activated Caddy effect. And there's no reason not to do this because you won't activate it again. Then from here you can either use smashes on the other card, the other monster, before they get to link summon, or you can declare Penny's effect to special, quick synchro into the Herald, and then you can use Sprint's effect to bounce, detaching off Melfy of the Forest to declare to target the other monster to bounce to hand, and then they have just an Iblee on field again. In the scenario where they want to crash and you have a starter, or let's say they've normal summoned and you've been able to go through the entire Caddy line into Herald of the Arclight, you can choose to either bounce the Sprint itself back to your extra deck, or you can use the smashes, banishing the Sprint as well as their additional monster so that they can't crash the Iblee into your Sprint because everything will be in defense. And this is something that I probably should have mentioned at the beginning, but if you're playing Iblee, put everything in defense. Sprint obviously can't. You can also choose to make another Gigantic using the Jet and the Sprint to make it defense Gigantic, but that's on the assumption that they have absolutely no outs to your Iblee whatsoever. If they can tribute over it, if they can crash into something, or if they can use like Droplet to send it to graveyard, then you might be in a tough spot because you've used a lot of resources. That is the entire combo. I said I wanted to show you 2, but I already explained what happened if you draw into 2 Beavers. So that's Should be it. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. For real now. Bye.